Unit 15, A Doctor for Animals. Lesson 57. 1. Read and act.
Dad, can I ask you some questions?
Sure.
Do you like being a doctor for animals?
Yes, to be a doctor for animals is very rewarding.
What animal do you like best?
I like all kinds of animals. I really don't have a favorite.
Why are you a doctor for animals and not for humans?
I like to work with animals better. They don't complain, and they are very grateful.
How can you tell they are grateful?
When an animal wags its tail or puts its ears straight up, then I know it's grateful.
But isn't it more important to help people than animals?
To help animals is helping people. To many people, a pet is like one of the family. This is often true for older people who are very lonely.
Oh, I see. So a pet can help a person feel less lonely.
That's right. It also gives people a lot of pleasure. Think about our dog, Pearl. She makes you laugh, and you love her very much.
Yeah, you're right. I really love her. Dad, are there any famous animal doctors?
Oh yes, there is a famous animal doctor from England who wrote many books about animals. His name was James Herriot. Maybe we can find something about him on the internet.
Yeah, let's go and look.
Unit 15, A Doctor for Animals. Lesson 58. 2. Read. The Man Who Loved Dogs. James Herriot was a famous doctor for animals. He was born in Scotland in 1915. He grew up with a pet dog named Don. Wherever he went, Don went with him. They would often hike into the mountains. After Herriot graduated from high school, he made up his mind to be a vet, especially for dogs. He went to college, but soon found out that to be a vet just for dogs was impossible during that time. Mostly, vets helped heal horses, cows, sheep, and pigs. As he loved animals, he continued his education. After he graduated, he found a job in Yorkshire, England. It was a beautiful part of England. Herriot loved the beautiful countryside, but treating large animals was very hard work. Before long, Herriot noticed that people in the country also had dogs as pets. They were never treated when they became sick, because the vets wouldn't heal them. Herriot started treating the dogs. At first, other vets laughed at him, because he wasn't working on real animals. However, the owners of the dogs were very glad that Herriot would help their pets. They regarded their pets as members of their families. Herriot knew exactly how they felt when they saw their sick dogs become well again. He himself kept 2 dogs, Hector and Dan. They would go with him in his car every day as he went to the farms to heal sick animals. Later in his life, James Herriot wrote a lot about his experience as a country vet in Yorkshire, England. He wrote 10 books all about animals. He even wrote a book just about dogs. James Herriot's Dog Stories. No matter how much he loved all kinds of animals, he loved dogs the best. Unit 15, A Doctor for Animals. Lesson 60. 2. Read.
Cody saves the baby. One Friday morning in San Francisco, Robert Parley, a baby, was sleeping in his bed. The family pet, a dog, was asleep on the floor beside the baby's bed. Mrs. Parley was busy with her housework. Suddenly, an earthquake rocked the city. Mrs. Parley said she felt as if she was in a storm at sea. She tried hard to reach the baby's room, But the house broke in two, dropping her to the first floor and leaving the baby's bed hanging on the edge of the two-story house. Mrs. Parley tried to climb to the second floor, but she couldn't because she had broken her leg. She shouted to the dog, Cody, to get the baby. The dog jumped into little Robert's bed and carefully grabbed the baby in his mouth. The dog then jumped out of the bed with the baby, just as the bed crashed to the first floor. Mrs. Parley called the police on her mobile phone, and half an hour later, they climbed to the second floor to get the dog and the baby. The police said baby Robert didn't cry at all. Baby Robert and his mother were taken to the hospital, with Cody the dog right beside them. All are now doing well. It is true to say a dog is man's best friend, or at least Robert's best friend.